A millionaire was so shocked when she made a decision that changed her life forever. So this video will cover how she did it. Before we start, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get inspired by our content. Also, make sure to leave a comment below with your full name and country name to get a personalized message from us. She had access to unimaginable wealth, living in a world where every desire could be met with a simple phone call or text message. As she delved deeper into its teachings, she came across the words of Jesus Christ. It is more blessed to give than to receive. At that moment, a profound shift occurred within her. Not only was she experiencing a deep sense of fulfillment, but she also began receiving blessings in unexpected ways. Doors opened, opportunities arose. And within just a few years, Heidi found herself blessed with even greater wealth than before. Instead of allowing these negative feelings to consume you, release them and let go. But the reality is that when you truly embrace radical generosity, you'll never have to worry about losing anything again. You'll find that not only do you feel light and free, but you also open yourself up to receiving more love, joy, and happiness in your life. This made Yalasteneaun left her bewildered. Heidi decided to put these words to the test and embarked on an extraordinary journey of sacrificial giving. 11 AD. And when you hold on tightly to something, you're blocking its ability to flow back to you in great abundance. Well, that's because most people see money as something that's scarce and hard to can be. Take a moment to close your eyes and picture an overflowing cup. Imagine all the abundance, opportunities, and blessings that await you. See them flowing towards you freely and easily. This exercise might seem simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It helps you shift your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance. But if you shift your perspective and start viewing money as something that flows freely and abundantly, like water from a tap, you'll begin to experience that reality in your own life. You understand that there is more than enough for everyone, and I am open to allowing prosperity to flow into my life effortlessly. They fear what would happen if they gave away everything they have. Believing it would lead to dire consequences. When you hold on tightly to your resources or refuse to let go of certain outcomes, you create resistance that blocks the flow of prosperity. However, it's important to remember that fear is just an illusion created by the mind. It's not based on reality. Take a moment to identify the specific areas where you're holding on to fear and anxiety regarding financial security. Acknowledge that fear, but then consciously choose to let it go. Understand that being wealthy isn't wrong, and use your abundance to make a positive impact on the world. Remind yourself that you are connected to a limitless source of abundance and that we won't change anything. Recognize that these fears are just illusions and release them. Trust that the universe will take care of everything. But when you embrace radical generosity and trust in the universe, you open the door to infinite possibilities. But this is a scarcity mindset. Embrace the idea that money flows to you abundantly and that you'll always have enough. To his surprise, the fakir simply smiled and said, "You wanted to be rich, didn't you? Now you are." The fakir, with his deep understanding of spiritual wisdom, gave the businessman a simple test. The fakir replied, "When you truly understand the art of giving, you will realize that it is the path to true wealth." Clients reached out to him for lucrative deals, and his wealth began to grow exponentially. By releasing your attachment to material possessions, you open yourself up to receiving abundance from the universe. I told him to come back the next day with all the money he had and give it to him. Once upon a time in India, there lived a fakir who dedicated his life to helping others. He was known for his kindness and willingness to give freely to those in need. His wealth multiplied, and he used it to make a positive impact on the world. By embracing the practice, the businessman broke free from the limitations of his old mindset and stepped into a world of infinite abundance. He built schools, hospitals, and donated generously to various charities. Sometimes it happens instantly, while in other instances it may take months or even years. However, it is crucial to remember that just because you don't see results immediately doesn't mean the principle isn't working. So don't be afraid to let go of your attachments and allow prosperity to flow into your life. Without a moment's thought, the fakir took the money and gave it away to the poor and needy. Shared it among the beggars, the sick and the suffering, making sure each person received a portion. It's not about rushing the process, but rather cultivating a deep sense of faith and understanding that the laws of the universe are always working in your favor. How can you possibly give away everything and still take care of those WHO depend on me, but over time, with consistent care and nourishment, the seed will sprout, grow, and eventually bear fruit. Similarly, when you apply this principle of divine return, it's essential to remain patient and continue nurturing the energy of generosity and abundance within you. when you let go of your attachments and fears and truly believe that there is more than enough for everyone, you unleash a powerful force that will draw blessings your way. Let me assure you, when you fully embrace this principle and allow it to guide you, you'll never have to worry about lacking anything you or your loved ones need. In fact, you will find that your ability to provide for your family and those around you will expand beyond your wildest dreams, just like water flows from a full glass. Prosperity will flow towards you when you remove the blockage caused by your scarcity mentality. In other words, the more you give away, the more you receive back in return. It's important to note that this isn't just limited to physical objects. It extends to emotions, energy, and even beliefs. But something was missing. Although Heidi felt no lack, she desired depth and meaning beyond the superficiality of her rich social circle. She longed to connect with something real and authentic. In the year of 1976, a young woman named Heidi was living the life of luxury in Switzerland. One day, Heidi stumbled upon an old Bible and began reading it cave to cave. Heidi's friends and family were astounded by her generosity, questioning whether she had inherited some secret wealth or made a sudden fortune. However, the truth was far more profound. She started by donating small amounts of money to those in need, but quickly progressed to larger donations, giving away thousands of dollars without hesitation. As Heidi continued her journey of radical giving, she noticed a remarkable transformation taking place. What happened to her demonstrates a spiritual principle at work. A law of the universe that states whatever you release with faith will return to you multiplied. Imagine you hold on to anger, resentment, or jealousy towards someone else. This might seem counterintuitive in our society, which often promotes the idea that you should always hold on tight to what you have for fear of losing it all. Think about it. When you give away something, you might think you're losing it. But in reality, you're setting it free to come back to you multiplied. Some of you might be thinking, but what about providing for my family? Here's the thing. The universe responds to acts of radical trust and selfless giving. Have you ever heard the saying, money doesn't grow on trees? When you adopt this mindset, you won't feel the need to cling tightly to every dollar you earn because you know there is an endless supply waiting to be tapped into. So here's what I want you to do right now. By embracing this principle, you're essentially declaring to the universe, I am ready to receive. Now, you might be wondering how long it will take for the divine return to occur. The timeline can vary. Think of it like planting a seed. You wouldn't expect a full ground tree to appear the next day. Trust that the universe is working in its perfect timing to bring forth the desired outcomes. So keep practicing radical generosity, stay open to receiving blessings, and trust that the divine return will manifest in its own perfect time. It's crucial to acknowledge that many people hesitate to fully embrace this principle due to fear. True abundance flows from a place of allowing things to simply flow. So here's what I encourage you to do. For instance, let's say you're afraid of running out of money. Another common fear is the belief that if you give away your money, you'll never be able to get it back. Release any guilt or shame you might feel about having money. Remember, when you live in fear of lack, you attract more lack into your life. Now, I want to share with you a beautiful story that illustrates this principle perfectly. One day, a wealthy businessman approached the fakir and asked him for guidance on how to become truly rich. The businessman hesitated, but he trusted the fakir's guidance and returned the next day with a large sum of money. The businessman was astonished by this act of generosity, wondering why the fakir would do such a thing. Confused, the businessman inquired, "But how? I gave away all my money. How is that being rich?" The businessman, still skeptical, went back to his normal life. However, he soon started noticing a remarkable change. Opportunities appeared out of nowhere. He realized that the fakir was right. True wealth wasn't just about having money. It was about living a life of purpose and generosity. From that day on, the businessman became even more successful than before. This story beautifully illustrates the power of radical generosity. It's important to remember that when you give, you receive. What you give away returns to you multiplied. If you like this video, please leave a comment below and share with your friends.